Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. This channel is an organic amalgamation for searching, seeking, and finding the truth in this chaotic, confusing, and disruptive world we live in today. I started walking about 3.5 miles 4 days a week, starting at 7 a.m. Here recently in the last month or two. I'm trying to get back in shape and lose about 20 pounds. And from a health history standpoint, I have UC, ulcerative colitis, and hypersensitive acid reflux, and slightly high blood pressure as I'm in the middle of middle age. So I'm recalibrating my unhealthy lifestyle to a much better, healthier lifestyle. So when I started my walk this morning, I started to pontificate about the fragility of life, understanding and realizing just how fragile life is and how we as humans take life for granted. Finding our purpose in life, appreciating the preciousness and precociousness of our existence here on earth. The duality between mortality and immortality. You never know when your exit date out of here is coming. Is it about quality of life over quantity of life? How you live versus how long you live. And when it is time to go, I don't want to suffer. Let me go immediately. I will take a massive heart attack or let me die in my sleep over suffering from, for example, terminal cancer for a year or two. Give me quality over quantity. And this leads me into my story for today. But before I get into this tragic story, I want to thank all of my followers and subscribers that have helped my channel grow on Facebook, YouTube, and Substack. And of course, on YouTube and Substack, my channel is called the Trevor Donald Experience. So let's get into this story that happened on Sunday where 11 skydivers and the pilot died in a plane crash in Butler, Missouri. But before I get into that, this story, when it happened on Sunday, kind of reminded me of the Kobe Bryant accident and helicopter death. Kobe was, he moved around in Los Angeles in a helicopter due to the traffic, and he was going to a basketball game with his daughter and had some other people with him. Of course, something happened, whether it was fog, or they hit a mountain or whatever the allegations were, that helicopter turned and took a nosedive, and Kobe Bryant and the passengers and his daughter unfortunately passed away. And the reason I'm making this comparison is because whether it was 20 seconds or 2 minutes, just think what it would feel like to know that you're getting ready to face death. And Kobe had his daughter with him and allegedly was holding her for sure as a father and a protector, knowing that disaster is right in front of you and possible death. That has to be a horrible feeling when I was talking about quantity of life versus quality, quality of life versus quantity, and how you live and how you die. Unfortunately, we don't get to choose either one. We don't get to choose coming into this earth, and we don't get to choose when we exit it. But these same individuals, they were going skydiving. And this plane took a nosedive, and there had to be a number of seconds that these people are scared to death and knowing that this is not a good situation. And I'm sure they had the parachutes on and all of this stuff for skydiving. And that's the irony of it, is that they're going to jump, they're going to do a dangerous stunt or a dangerous event under the auspices that they're going to land in a safe spot and be okay. And it's just about the experience and being in the sky. Well, they got all their equipment on. They go up in the plane nosedives. The pilot and all 11 skydivers die. Crazy. Look at the dichotomy there. It's almost like somebody going on a scuba diving trip. Go down, you got all the equipment, you think you're in a safe environment, you got scuba diving equipment on, and you end up drowning. Um, Look at that dichotomy and the duality there. So what happened on Sunday for those that don't know? There was a plane crash where 12 people died uh, in Butler, Missouri, which is near Kansas City. So the aircraft was manufactured. This is the backstory. The aircraft was manufactured in 2010 by Pacific Aerospace in New Zealand with an engine from Pratt and Whitney, Canada. It was registered to owner Sky High Aero LLC out of Jasper, Tennessee. The plane was not required to have a cockpit voice recorder or flight data recorder on board, commonly known as the black boxes. The plane, operated by Skydive Kansas City, crashed about 11:30 a.m. this past Sunday near Butler Memorial Airport along Business Interstate 49, just minutes after takeoff. The craft struggled to gain altitude and made a sharp left turn before it crashed, perhaps showing the pilot was trying to make an emergency landing on the highway. The plane crashed in a field on airport property and caught fire. Here's another unfortunate situation. Some of the victims' family members witnessed the crash. You're talking about PTSD. You're talking about an indelible image that is going to be on these family members' minds for the rest of their lives. Not only did their loved ones die, but they also partially witnessed it. Bates County Sheriff Chad Anderson called it a mass casualty event. 3 of the victims have been identified by their families or employers. Among them is Jennifer Sharp, who was a member of the U.S. Parachute Association. Jennifer Sharp was the agency's director of technology and had worked with the group for 9 years. So she had been skydiving and worked for the Parachute Company Association. Just a crazy story, a very unfortunate story. The North Kansas City School District said that one of its employees, Dave Hirschberger, was also killed in Sunday's crash. Mr. Hirschberger was an orchestra teacher at the public middle and high school. This region in Missouri, near the Kansas border, is a popular skydiving area, which I didn't know anything about. Here again, sometimes I give you black and white scenarios and comparisons and contrasts. Skydiving, I think, is something white folks do and has created, no different than skiing and, of course, scuba diving. So those are things, historically speaking, that black people are not necessarily comfortable with doing. Jumping out of an airplane, hoping that a parachute will come out and you will land safely. The will and the thrill of that, for most of us, we're just trying to struggle and get through life with all this hardships and this racism and all that stuff, that and having the extra funds to do a skydiving. I don't even know how much skydiving costs, but I'm sure it's a pretty penny when you're talking about airplane fuel and all that other stuff that goes along with it, and the equipment that you have to skydive. So it's not something in particular that black folks are necessarily going to do. Scuba diving would be another one. Equipment costs, going down 300 feet in the ocean is not very appealing to many of my African American friends. So skydiving, skiing, you're seeing more black people do a little bit of skiing, but being out in the cold and rolling around and going down a hill at 50 or 60 miles an hour, it's not necessarily appealing to me or to many of my comrades also. But that's just food for thought for racial comparisons and dynamics. I'm sure all 11 of those folks were probably non-African American descent. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe offered his condolences and said that state resources were immediately deployed to assist local authorities. Missouri's disaster Mortuary Operations Response Team was activated to help with victim identification. I never heard of this organization. It's called Missouri's Disaster Mortuary Operations Response Team. This accident is being described as one of the deadliest skydiving plane crashes in the United States in decades. Uh, and guess what? The lawyers are licking their fingers at this one. This is going to be lawsuit heaven for your Brown and Crouppens and some of your big accident chasing law firms, so to speak. This is going to be a field day and an alley-oop for the lawyers and the law firms that are going to sue this company like crazy. Hopefully they got enough insurance to pay these folks off. So in conclusion, nothing is forever. What do we learn from this situation that happened on Sunday? It's unfortunate for not only the victims on the plane, but the victims' families. What does it do for tourism, for the skydiving business in Butler, Missouri? There's going to be some people that are canceling their reservations for a skydiving trip for sure. So there's going to be some rocky waves for a while as a result of this happening. So in conclusion, nothing is forever. In order to live, things have to die to create space. That's why we have spring, summer, fall, and winter. Mother Nature understands that. We and the things on earth are just renting space for a time. And when that time is up, poof, you are gone. So love on your true family and friends today, because tomorrow is not promised, and today is your present existence, which is your gift for today from God. Enjoy and relish today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. Tell me what you think of this unfortunate, tragic story of the skydivers that lost their lives in this plane crash this past Sunday. It did bother me. It kind of reminded me of the Kobe Bryant crash with his daughter and the other passengers that were there. Life is full of risk and risk-taking, and we don't have control on our start date or our end date on this place that we call Earth. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.